It's Clara, and today I am doing my April wrap-up and my May TBR. I cannot believe it is almost May already. That is just crazy. But I have a ton of books to go over, so I will not be summarizing. I will be telling you how many stars I rate each book on a 1 to 5 star system. So let's just get into this because it's gonna be fun. So the first book I read in April was A Crown of Wishes by Roshni Chokshi. This was the book of the month, and it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. 5 stars, hands down, no question. Next, I have a few books for school. I have 3 books for school coming up next, and whew. The first one was Ivanhoe by Sir Walter Scott. It was okay. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it either. 2.5 stars. I found it poorly written. That was my one issue. Next, I have Merchant of Venice by William Shakespeare, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And last book I read for school was The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. This book was so funny, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I loved it so much. And next, I read The Hunger Games, again, for the 3rd time, including the audiobook, only this time I read it en français, and it was so fun to read this book in French. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever when I was reading it, and it just made me so happy to see one of my favorite books in my favorite language, and it was just so cool, and I just loved it so much. Okay, next I read one that I'd been meaning to get to for a while, and that is Black Widow Red Vengeance by Margaret Stohl. I read the first book in this series back in December and loved it so much. It was so intense, and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Because I'm like reading this book and sweating from the intensity of what's going on. And this book was no different. It never let up, and it was great. I was not expecting it to end the way it did, so I really need the sequel, but 5 stars, just like the first one. Great month of reading. So, yeah, oh yeah, I forgot. The Hunger Games is a 5-star read. I forgot to mention that. But anyway. Okay, last book I haven't finished yet, but I expect to be done with it by the end of May, and that is The Math Myth and Other Sim Delusions by Andrew Hacker. This is actually a nonfiction book, and I am trying to read more classics and more nonfiction, so yes, I picked up this book because it's like an argument against advanced math from an authority that is an adult and not a teenager that detests math like yours truly. So it is nice to see an argument against forcing algebra down teenagers' throats when most of them will never use it. So it is very nice to read this book, and I feel like everybody needs to read it. I'm not quite done with it. I'm about halfway through it, but I cannot wait to finish it because so far it is certainly 5 stars. Okay, that's it for my wrap-up. You guys can like see this stack of books over here. It's really tall. But for TBR, I have about 4 books that are definitive, certainly on my TBR, so I'm bound to pick up a few more books. So the first one is Hunger Games L'Embrasement, also by Suzanne Collins. This is the 2nd book in the Hunger Games in French, so Catching Fire, French edition. Very excited, can't wait. Next, I have a space opera that recently came out, and I haven't gotten permission to read this yet from my mother, but that is Empress of a Thousand Skies by Rhoda Beliza. This, like I said, all I know about this is it's a space opera, and I've been wanting to read one of those for quite some time. Next, I have a graphic novel. This will be the first graphic novel I've ever read, and that is Wires and Nerve by Marissa Meyer. This is part of the Lunar Chronicles, but it is after the events that took place in the original series. So I am so excited about this. This was one of my most anticipated releases, and I just cannot wait to go back into that world because I just love Lunar Chronicles. Last on my TBR that is definite, I want to read these books this month, and that is Clara Ball by Stephanie Garber. This was another one of my most anticipated 2017 releases, and all I really know about this, I think it's kind of like the Hunger Games, but in like a circus setting, and I am all over that, so cannot wait to get to this. Alrighty guys, that's it for my wrap up and TBR. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Goodbye!